Okay, BMW fanboy should switch off now because today I am sleeping with the enemy and she is one sexy bitch and I've got a lot of good things to say about her. That's right, I'm driving the AMG C63 S, the direct competitor to my M4 and the M3 and so forth, and it is a great car. You know, there's good and bad in both cars, but there's a lot of good about these Mercedes-Benz. So if you don't want to hear good things about Mercedes-Benz, don't watch this video. Here we go. So, first thing I will say about this car is that for a car that is a direct competitor to my M4, very similar specs, very similar price, very similar everything, it drives completely differently. And I guess that comes down to the engine. Obviously this is a 4-litre V8 twin turbo, whereas the M cars have got the 3-litre inline twin turbo. So the engine delivers power differently and sounds different. There's one of those new Priuses. Oh my God, have you seen the new Prius? Ah, that has to be the ugliest car on the road. Anyway, back to this car. The way it delivers power through the engine, the way it delivers power through the transmission. This has got a torque converter transmission, whereas the M cars are either a manual or a dual clutch, and so you get a much sharper bang between changes, whereas this is smoothed over. Don't get me wrong, the transmission in this car is magnificent. What they have done with these ZF transmissions, they are beautiful and smooth, yet so quick to change. If I switch to manual mode now, it just jumps through the gears in an instant. You really wouldn't know that it's a torque converter transmission. It is beautiful. So yeah, the power, the transmission, and I guess the other thing you notice is this is a heavier car. Obviously it's a much more powerful car than the M car, but on the flip side it's a heavier car. It's 400 pounds heavier, which is like to fat people like me, which you can feel in the corners. You can feel when it's at its limit. I guess the question everyone's going to ask is, which car is faster? You know, everybody wants to know which is the faster car, the C63 S or the M4, M3. Well, it depends on the circumstances. I'm willing to concede that overall I believe this is the faster car. This is a much more powerful car. It is still a very sharp handling car. So in a lot of cases, particularly in direct drag races, this car is faster than the M4. However, there's a lot of videos out there comparing these two cars and a lot of races between these two cars, and sometimes the M4, M3 comes out on top. And what I've noticed is that in those cases, it's when they're on a racetrack and it's a tight circuit and there's a lot of and where the handling and that lighter weight of the M4 really comes into play, that's when it can beat this car. So while they're very similar in specs, I think overall this is a slightly faster car in most circumstances. I know, M car owners will completely disagree. But yeah, back to how does it drive. You know, I guess the way I would describe how this car drives next to the M4 is that it's a smoother car. It feels more like a luxury car. That's not taking away from its performance. It's just, I'm just saying that, you know, this is a very nice car to live with. Driving along just on the highway right now, it's super quiet, it's super smooth, and if you've got your foot off the gas, you put the controller back to comfort mode, it just goes silent. You don't even hear the exhaust anymore, and all the bumps get really soaked up. It's just a lovely luxury car. You never get that in the M3, M4. You know, they're a nice car to drive and long distance is no problem, but this feels like a big luxury car when it's in comfort mode. You pop it down to sport mode or race mode and you feel it tighten up. The throttle response is far more instant. You hear that exhaust noise instantly. Even when you're just idling along, you hear the exhaust noise, and the handling firms up and it becomes a different creature again. The M cars are more race orientated no matter what mode you're in. This car has, you know, kind of the best of both worlds. So let's talk about that sound. This is an area I think the Mercedes definitely has the BMW beat. You know, there's some people that love the sound of that inline inline 6 with the turbochargers in my M4. It has its own sound and it's nice, or some people hate it, but there's no denying the V8 sound is a superior sound, and that is definitely an area that I miss, and something that I really enjoy when driving this car is the throaty burble of a V8 is magnificent, and this car does it so well. So let's talk about power delivery. It's a little different in this car. Obviously it's got a larger capacity engine, and I think it delivers more torque down low than the M car does. Well, it certainly feels like that to me. The M car is a little more peaky in its power delivery, and I guess some of that comes down to the transmission being a more direct connected transmission. But what I like about the engine in this car is how much power is available all the time at any revs. And what I mean is, here I am cruising along, I'm in 4th gear, and if I put my foot down, it's instantly pushing me into the back of the seat, and it feels the same amount of torque through the rev range. With my M car, you can feel the torque building. This car, it's much more bam, it's right there, and it's the same amount of torque. So I guess it's a flatter torque curve in this car, even though if you look at the graphs on the M4, they are perfectly flat, but they feel more peaky. Let's pull over here and see if we can do a sneaky launch control. It's a pretty nice bit of road. So I believe the sequence is you put it into race mode, you pull both towards you and confirm pedal up. Race start available to press gas pedal. Okay, here we go. Wait for no traffic. And go. Yep, that is silly fast. So yeah, once again, even with the launch control, I mean, you feel the torque and it's fast, but it's not the violence that you get in the M cars. The M car is really trying to kill you in a launch control, as I've shown in some of my other videos. It's really banging through the gears, and you know, and the traction control is off with the M cars. Holy shit! Someone's just had an accident. I'm going to back up and check this out, make sure they're okay. Yeah, so it looks like she's okay. She had her hind. I actually jumped the rail while I was going past and spun out on that road. There's some other guy involved as well. They've called the police. I think it's going to be fine. Okay, onto the outside of the C63 S. Obviously, this being an AMG model, its body kit is much more aggressive than a standard C-Class, and you can see that. I mean, look at the size of the rotors on this wheel. Whoa, nice. Yeah, just touches all around it, make it look so much more aggressive. You know, personally, I'm not ever been a massive fan of this C-Class shape. It's nice, and I think it's nicer than the old one, but yeah, it's a little conservative. I personally prefer the shape of my M4, but yeah, there's certainly nothing wrong with this. These tailpipes are nice as well. Yeah, they've got some great touches. It is a smart looking car. Christian, who owns this car, has just had it recoated. So it's super shiny, and everything that touches it falls off it straight away. But yeah, black is a very hard color to keep clean. But so far, you know, I've been driving this car most of the day, and it's staying perfectly clean. Let's venture onto the inside. Okay, onto the interior. And you know, I've said this before in some of my other Mercedes videos, particularly the C-Class, and that is that the C-Class interior really shines. They've really stepped up their game in this latest series. And this car is no exception. I'll say it, you know, the interior of this car is far superior to the interior of the BMW. I do love the BMW leather. I do like the look of the BMW, but in most cases, this is a superior interior. I'll give you an example. Look at the seat. Look at the details on the seat. So the seat has this piping here, which is Alcantara, and then the leather's quite soft, but it's just a gorgeous piece of equipment. Look at it. Just the details. Obviously, it's a comfortable seat as well. But yeah, well, just like any car, there's good and there's bad. Most of it's great. You know, the switch gear is solid and it's got such a lovely feel to it. Just such a big step above the BMW or anything Audi's doing at the moment. You know, the aluminium that they use on the switches and just the general layout is excellent. I'll start it up for you. It's pretty cool. One area that I'm not so happy about, as I said before, is this iPad in the middle here. It's perfectly functional. It's just in your face. It's too big, and you know, there's no need for this big surround, and there's no way of adjusting it. You know, a lot of people hate that, and if you can ignore that, the rest of the interior is superb. Certainly from my point of view anyway. It's a matter of taste. There are a few little spots which you know, they've put leather up the top here, but then it's hard plastic here. I don't know why they haven't continued the leather onto all the areas that you touch. But yeah, the way they've laid out this whole console area and used this this aluminium look, it's just fantastic. It is a very beautiful car on the interior, on the inside. The steering wheel is a flat bottom steering wheel, soft leather with Alcantara around the edges here, so when you're holding this, Alcantara doesn't, as I've said in some other videos, doesn't wear very well, so I don't know how well it's going to wear on this car, but I love how they've put the little 12 o'clock symbol at the top here. Yeah, just so many beautiful touches on the interior. In the back seat, we've got some gorilla infestation. But yeah, just like the other C-Class cars that I've reviewed, there's plenty of room in the back seat. It's a comfortable place to be, and incorporates a twin sunroof or moonroof, or what do you want to call it. So you're getting plenty of light. You know, just very well thought out, very well done. The interiors of these cars, top notch, top notch. So finally, to wrap up, you know, I think the thing that surprises me about the C63 S, I'm going to say C64 at some point, is how different it is to the M4. It's not different in bad ways. You know, each has their own strengths and weaknesses. You know, this is just a smoother car. This car delivers its power in a completely different way, and this car handles so differently. The question is, if I had my time again, which car would I get? Would I buy the M4 again, or would I get the C63 S? And you know, I believe the C63 S is an easier car to live with. It's certainly a smoother car to go cruising in. It's certainly a lot of fun feeling all that torque. And it is a magnificent looking car inside. There's no question. The interior of this car, save a few little details like that silly screen, is magnificent inside. Now, BMW could learn a lot from the details they've put into the interior of this car. That said, as I said in the walk around, I'm not a huge fan of the exterior styling, and that really just comes down to personal preference. Some people love the exterior styling of the Mercedes, and so that wouldn't be a problem for them, but for me, I love the look of the M4. I love the sharpness and the way the M4 handles, and the way the M4 is bang, bang, bang at everything it does. But yeah, mostly I love the look of the M4, and I think if I had the time again, I would probably still get the M4. I know, oh, here's that accident. Got a few cops there now. Yeah, I know people would say arguably this is a better car, and in some ways it is, but yeah, I am a true lover of the M4, and I think if I had the choice and they're both the same price, I'd probably still get the M4, despite the fact that this is a faster, smoother, lovelier car with a better interior. So that's my thoughts on the C63 S, a magnificent beast. Thank you, Christian, for letting me drive your car today. It was a lot of fun. I wish I had both this and the M4 in my driveway.